Not everything put out by Marvel and DC is trash, and I am glad. I am not one of these people that want to see the whole entire thing burn down. I would like to see them succeed. Now, if they fail because they fail to produce for us, the fans, something that we love and want to see, that is on them. But today I want to go over Wolverine issue number 3. I have been enjoying this rendition of Wolverine, this reboot. I think it's been done really well. The art has been well, the story, it's just one of those stories that's good. It's enjoyable. It's just that it's enjoyable. It's not the best story you've ever read, but you enjoy reading the book. So this is number 3, and here's a treat that I wasn't expecting. This cover was drawn by one of my favorite comic book artists, Ken Lashley. Man, love that dude. He does some amazing artwork. The writer, Saladin Ahmad. The interior artist is Martin Cuculo. The book opens up with Wolverine again fighting with Wendigo. Now, with this iteration of Wendigo is a kid who they were stuck in the woods. I'm not going to go into the complete backstory. And he pretty much ate his friend. And if you know anything about Wendigo, when you eat human flesh, you're cursed with the Wendigo. And as far as I know, you could pass this on to someone else. I'm not super versed on Wendigo, but this is what we get from the book. If you remember the last book, it left off with Wendigo smelling blood. Wolverine's trying to help him. The kid is trying to gain control over this beast that is now not only inside him, but is outside of him. He's cursed. So you see the opening dialogue. Wolverine's trying to keep him from killing this man who has fallen and hurt himself. Wendigo smells blood. They're fighting. And remember, there is some agents in the woods there in Canada that's searching for Wolverine because they think he killed some campers and some Mounties, and it was really Cyber that did that killing. They don't know that. So again, the art, I really enjoy the savageness of Wolverine. And in the internal dialogue in this book, what you see is Wolverine describing how he tries to keep that savage under wraps and the different internal exercises that he does to keep from going completely savage. And also what you find is he's trying to train Wendigo to do the same thing. And I'm curious as to where this goes. Will this be a Wendigo that retains this form, this power, but figures out how to control that savage beast? That would be a good twist. So now Wendigo has run off. Wolverine now realizes, oh snap, I can't leave this guy here. He needs help. So now he turns around. He's going to chase down Wendigo, but he decides not to. He turns around and now he's going to help this young man, and he's going to use his own blood because he's been bitten by the Wendigo before. But you know, Wolverine has a healing factor, and that healing factor kept him from going completely berserk. And so he's going to use that blood in an attempt to make sure that this young man doesn't turn into the Wendigo, because it's passed on when you're bitten by a Wendigo. Like I said, this is just a good story. So these agents, they come out of the tree line. They see Wendigo. They've been searching. They're firing on him, and they're just ticking him off. And Wolverine tries to tell them, look, you don't want to do this. And now, this is a plot device that I've mentioned in the other books that I actually like in this. Wolverine has to figure out how to get these dudes to stop without drawing blood, because if he draws blood, this is going to, of course, tempt Wendigo to want to devour these men, and this is something that Wolverine is trying to prevent. Good plot device in the writing. I really like it. So Wendigo finally runs off. Wolverine jumps into this tree, and he goes into this dialogue where he's explaining how big these trees are in the Canadian forest. And he's like, you don't really realize how big these trees are until you come up on one. And he's up there cutting a branch because he's trying to slow down these dudes. He cuts the branch down, it falls on them, Wendigo burst out, and now here we go again. Wolverine, faced with the task of trying to tame this savage beast. Isn't that like poetic justice? Because inside Wolverine, there's a savage beast that he has to constantly keep under wraps. So I thought, man, I actually like the way this is written. It's kind of neat. Again, the art is fantastic. It's fitting for Wolverine. This Martin Capullo, I wish they would get him to draw the X-Men. The X-Men books need some better writing. I'm not going to get into that. Like I said before, I try not to focus too much on things I don't like. I try to focus on things I enjoy because I don't want this to turn into a rage channel. I just want to talk about stuff I like. You may not like Wolverine, may not be interested in this comic, but I'm telling you it's good. So there was one agent this whole time from the second book, I believe, that Wolverine noticed that of all the agents, she actually was using her brain. Like, all they were using was their tactical gear to try to gain the advantage to find out where Wolverine was, because, they're trying to track him down. But she was using her senses. And so he kind of knew, if there's anybody I'm going to have to evade, it's going to be this woman right here, because she knows what she's doing. And lo and behold, she finds Wolverine and Wendigo. Now he's trying to explain to her, look, I'm not trying to hurt you. Before that, he actually choked out the Wendigo, and he went into this, dialogue about a 5'3" dude trying to choke somebody out that's the size of the Incredible Hulk. And let me see if I can get his statement. Can I find it? Where does he say? Yeah, it is right here. He says, when you're 5'3", putting a sleeper on a guy the size of the Hulk ain't exactly an easy feat. But if life was easy, well, I'd be a real different man. Excuse me, tripping all over my words there. I was trying to look down and read that. So anyway, Wolverine obviously put him to sleep. This woman rolls up out of the woods, and he's like, look, don't shoot. She's telling him, don't move. Wolverine has this inner dialogue because she shoots him in a leg, and he's like, he has to remind himself so he doesn't go savage. It's a leg shot, so she wasn't trying to kill me, so don't go savage, and he has to keep reminding himself of that. Slices the gun, explains to her what's going on, and he explains who actually killed the campers and the Mountie. And he's telling her, look, he also killed a pack of wolves, you'll find some casings, you'll find his DNA, that will be your guy. He should be on file, you should be able to find this dude. So, of course, Wolverine goes out into the woods. You see him training Wendigo how to breathe, to try to control this savage beast that is inside of him. I like that take. And now Cyber winds up in Kyoto, Japan, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? You see him just mercilessly killing these dudes, and you see dialogue from someone, and this someone says, I trained each of those men personally, but you cut through all of them without breaking a sweat. Impressive work, Cyber. So before I kill you, please be courteous enough to tell me, what does the infamous Silas Burr want? But he doesn't say anything, and you find out that she is Lady Deathstrike. And he's not saying anything. There's an ensuing battle. Now, I don't necessarily understand what's going on here. Maybe one of you comic book savvy super sleuths out there might understand exactly what's going on. But Cyber's adamantium, after that battle with Wolverine, he went into this cave and his adamantium turned yellow or gold. And so as he's fighting her, then you see her adamantium turning gold. I'm sure there's some details that I'm missing. I'm going to have to look into some comic book lore and see exactly what's going on. Nonetheless, this book is one of those reads that is simply enjoyable. We don't get many of these nowadays, but when you do get something like this that's just enjoyable, I believe it's worth sharing. I think Wolverine, all of them so far, issue 1, 2, and 3 have been super enjoyable to read. It's one of those books that it goes by quick. You enjoying it so much it goes by quick. Again, not that it's the greatest book ever. It is just an enjoyable read and definitely worth checking out. It gets my stamp of approval.